This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. Surprise in the chimp nursery as tough nut Seamus starts a gentle play session. But can he keep his wild side under control? There's some growing up to be done as orangutan Aris graduates from the nursery and meets bruiser Gordon.
Good boy. No, careful. The thing is, if you can keep it calm, if you can just have some influence on that. Gordon, no. Then hopefully it will make the introduction go that bit more smoothly. No, I'm not doing the rough games, and neither's he.
And keeper Mike brings the woolly monkey baby to meet his own kind for the very first time.
There, is that your little son? He's a handsome boy like you, isn't he?
When Monkey World rescues a primate, it has a home here for the rest of its life. This means constantly ensuring each ape and monkey is living in the right group. Today, it's all changed for one of the park's orangutans, Aris. He's moving out of the orang nursery and into Gordon's adult group.
You know, he's getting quite old now for the nursery. He's quite focused on some of the little girls. I mean, he's not a big problem, but he likes to play really, really rough, which is great, but some of the younger kids are not quite so impressed with all that. So it's better to do it when he's young, and God will hopefully accept him as a little kid rather than a rival male.
Aris is too big to be carried to his new enclosure. At his age and size, he would normally have to be sedated, but an anaesthetic isn't the healthiest option for him. So, over the past few weeks, the primate care staff have been teaching Aris to walk into a travelling box.
Good boy, Aris.
We don't want to anaesthetise him to move him because he's only a little kid, and the risks outweigh the benefits there. So what we'll do is we'll try and get him in. We have special treats. Penny's gone and got chocolate raisins and cherries and all sorts of stuff like that. So if he doesn't go in today, we just try another day and we just keep trying until he goes in.
Aris has been happy to walk into his box on many occasions. But today is moving day and Aris just isn't playing ball.
Well, last time he took about 5 minutes before he actually went in, didn't he? So he's
Surely a bribe of his favourite sweets will get him into the box.
Actually, hang on, he's only got one fingertip out. Eat your sweets, and get in the box.
Apparently not.
He's gone all the way in now and left one hand out, which he quite often does. So now it's just a case of getting that last hand in and we can close his slide. So it might take another few minutes, but he's doing pretty well at the moment.
Good boy. Eat right then.
Next up, chocolate raisins. Aris is fond of chocolate raisins, but just how fond? Very fond.
Right.
Later, a big challenge awaits Aris as he comes face to face with a large male orang for the first time.
Yes, good boy.
Gordon.
Gordon, no.
And there's a potentially serious medical problem for capuchin monkey Tom.
When a keeper's flagged up that he had a black lump in the mouth, that can be a melanoma and it can be extremely aggressive, very serious. And Tom's chances wouldn't be good under those circumstances.
On the other side of the park, keeper Mike is taking the hand-reared baby woolly monkey to see what other woolies look like for the very first time.
Hello. Come here. Here's Lavar. Lavar. There. Is that your little son? He's a handsome boy like you, isn't he?
When we do any hand rearing, it's really, really so important that the animal grows up thinking of itself as whatever it is. So what we do with them, provided the baby's healthy and the animals are healthy here, We'll bring them down straight away to the house as soon as possible so that they grow up knowing and hearing the woolly monkeys around them and get used to the noises. He's got to grow up thinking of himself as a woolly monkey. It is very easy when you're hand-rearing to totally humanise them.
The baby is just 3 weeks old and is being hand-reared because he didn't feed from his mother. Mike and the park's director, Alison, take it in turns to look after him. This is a challenging job, as only 2 woolly monkeys in the world have survived being hand-reared.
That's 1 mil. Good boy. Here you go. Here you go.
And this baby's brother, Julio, is one of them. While he was being hand-reared, he would be regularly brought down to visit the woolly monkey house.
Are you hiding? Good boy.
After 7 months, he joined his family full-time. This is also the plan for this little one.
Julio went in so well into this group. I mean, it really was unbelievable. Hello, little man. What are you doing, eh? You've got yoghurt all over your tummy. You're a messy boy, aren't you? We started off introducing Julio first to Susie, and Susie's a really kind lady. She's fabulous, you know, she wouldn't hurt a fly. And then we just gradually introduced the rest of the group one by one.
Most of the park's woolies are given South American names, as this is where woolly monkeys come from.
No, we haven't named him yet. We're just in the process of collecting lots of different names from the keepers who work with the woolly monkeys. Then I'm sure Alison will get together with everybody and we'll hit upon a name.
But this baby may end up with something a bit more British.
I think Dave is a popular one. I don't know. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter what they're called, you know. But, yeah, he needs a name other than Little Man or Little Fella or something, or worse.
Back with orangutan Aris, his big day continues. He's moved out of the orangutan nursery and into Gordon's adult group.
Oh, no, we'll push back. There we go.
He's settling well into his new home, so the team have decided he's ready to face his biggest challenge of the day. He's going to meet 10-year-old Gordon. Aris can see Gordon and the other adults opposite him. The noises he's making are different to his usual squeaks.
Easy, small boy.
This is actually a more adult noise he's making now. He's slightly worried, he's slightly angry, he's a little bit stressed out, so that's more of an alarm, more of a slightly aggressive, just kind of what's going on kind of thing, because this was not what he had planned for today. He had today planned running about in the nursery with the little kids.
You coming in next?
Although Gordon is 10 years old, in orang years he's already a teenager. And like a lot of teenagers, he can be unpredictable. So before Gordon and Aris make full contact, they'll be introduced to each other through the mesh.
Aris, go on.
They're both interested and intrigued. But there are no aggressive signs, so it's decided to let them meet face to face. And, as always, animal manager Jeremy is on hand to try and keep the peace.
Hello, young man.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Hello, Gord. What are you doing in there? Come on. Come on. Who's that? Who's that? You be good boy. Hello? What are you doing? You're okay. Well, no, I'm not playing rough games. It's not gonna happen. Okay? No rough games. We're gonna be nice to Aris, okay?
Gordon is used to young males as he lives with 2-year-old Kai. Gordon and Kai get along really well and often play, so hopefully Gordon will welcome Aris into his group.
You have to take... Oh, good boy. No. Careful. Careful. That's good. We're good. That's good. Check him out.
Aris, on the other hand, has no experience with adult males. But as he's an outgoing orang and Jeremy is close by, he should be just fine.
No, I'm not doing the rough games, and neither's he. We don't do rough games. At the moment, I'm just trying to keep Gordon calm. The thing is, if you can keep it calm, if you can just have some influence on that, Gordon, no. Then hopefully it will make the introduction go that bit more smoothly. My control over Gordon is pretty limited. He wants to wrestle me, and I'm not going to play. And if I carry on like that, then you've got about that much control over the situation, which is better than nothing. It's also a distraction from him focusing. If he's focusing too rough on Aris, that's obviously a bad thing. Yes, good boy.
The way to most animals' hearts is through their stomach.
Aris, you're a good boy. See, Aris wants one, and Gordon wants one. That's okay.
And it's also the way to Jeremy's.
We just have a little grape fest. One for you. One for you. One for me. Should have done this with pork scratchings, because they're much nicer.
It's a good sign that Gordon's happy to have Aris this close when food is around. But Jeremy's not ready to leave them alone together just yet.
It's all yours, Gordon.
Come on.
It's time to separate them.
No. If I go through
But Gordon
first,
has
I'm gonna
other
definitely
ideas.
come back to...
Well, it's not going to just go through the grate?
I don't think so. It's much more fun to beat me up. You come through for the grapes.
Aris is confident and his first meeting has gone well. But he needs a rest now. Because later on, Aris meets one of the new ladies in his life, Xiaolan. And the primate care staff have to keep a close eye on Capuchin Tom.
This is a lot of fat.
Yeah, he's really fat.
It isn't funny, amusing, cute, or anything. It's a problem.
This afternoon, in Monkey World's medical room, there's concern for the alpha male Capuchin monkey, Tom.
Tom has got some funny little lumps in his mouth that we just want John to have a look at. And he's tried to have a look through the mesh and can't get any decent diagnosis like that, so we're just going to anaesthetise him and have a proper look.
12-year-old Tom lives with 3 other Capuchin monkeys rescued from the pet trade. Today in Britain, anyone with the correct licence can own one of these primates. But often people don't know how to look after them properly. The Capuchins now at the park were all found in solitary confinement and had been fed the wrong foods. Tom in particular was hugely overweight. He's since been on a diet, but his weight loss has been slow.
I'm going in. Come on, Tom.
Jeremy has a good relationship with Tom, so he wants to get him out of the box by hand rather than injecting him.
Come on, Tom.
Tom's not happy about it, but it's healthier for him. Although he will still need anaesthetic gas for John to be able to examine him. But gas is not as risky as an injection.
If you can use gas, it induces them very quickly. In other words, they go to sleep very quickly. Conversely, they wake up very quickly. It doesn't rely on any drug having to be metabolised or broken down in the body. We don't have to use other drugs to reverse them. This animal's overweight. He's relatively old, so there is a possibility that his liver and his kidneys won't be functioning at 100%. Now, you need those 2 organs functioning well to metabolise or eliminate injectable anaesthetic drugs. So in his case, if we can mask him down, we're reducing the risks for him. We'll get a quicker recovery for him, but he is overweight, and that can be a risk factor for some injectables.
Now Tom is fully sedated, John and Monkey World's vet Femke can check on the mysterious lumps in his mouth.
Are you talking about these little black tips to the comb under the tongue?
Yep, that's what she was talking about, and there was some on the top of there. She was concerned there was some lumps down there as well.
Well, they're normal. That's all normal. When the keeper's flagged up that he had a black lump in the mouth, that can be a melanoma and it can be extremely aggressive, very serious. And Tom's chances wouldn't be good under those circumstances. As it happens, we've had a good look under the tongue and it's just normal pigmentation that they've seen. And presumably they've seen it for the first time a few weeks ago, hadn't an opportunity to see it before. That worried them, so we've checked him out. But there's not a suggestion of it in the mouth. He has a normal mouth, so no, that's good. And in the meantime, we got a blood sample from him, so we can check his kidneys and liver function and general health as well. So we'll take the opportunity to do that. Well, yeah, but 3.
It's good news for Tom, but he does have a more serious ongoing problem.
This is a lot of fat on him.
Yeah, he's really fat. But the problem is he's the dominant male, so he grabs everyone's food. And if you separate them for a long time, that's also not very nice for the group. Okay, I'll put him onto pure oxygen now, and then we can put him into his box.
Absolutely.
Could the box come here, please?
Right.
There you go, my man.
There's a great big tie around his neck, which is a problem. You know, you get an animal this weight, you've got a problem. It isn't funny, amusing, cute, or anything. It's a problem.
The primate care staff will have to carefully consider Tom's diet and feeding habits.
Have a look at what you're feeding. Are you feeding lots of nuts, for example?
No, I mean, because they're all as a group, they've all kind of been put on Tom's diet, but quantity-wise, because TJ and Gizmo were quite thin, we were actually having to give them extras all the time.
Yeah, that's
so
a bit difficult.
You turn your back for 5 minutes, and Tom's grabbed their banana, but we're now separating them at night time, so we've just figuring out how we can really try and minimise Tom's ability to gain food for himself.
You do need to.
Later, will orangutan Aris be able to charm the new lady in his life? The park's nursery gives the younger chimps a chance to develop social skills that'll be necessary for them when they move on to one of the adult groups. But there's one chimp who spent more time here than anyone else. 8-year-old Seamus. He's either causing trouble with the other chimps or chilling out with his foster mum, Sally. The pair share a special bond. Just like humans, chimpanzees develop their own unique personalities, and Seamus's personality is certainly unique. He's mischievous, inquisitive, and always in the thick of it at playtime. Brian is the new boy in this group. To begin with, he was nervous of boisterous Seamus. But now they play happily together. Although chimps are clever, some are cleverer than others, and most are cleverer than Seamus. He's much bigger than the others in the group and is well known for being rowdy and rough. But today he seems to be on his best behaviour. And Seamus's gentle play is also popular with toddler Ash and cheeky Ben. Eventually, Seamus will have to move into a more adult group. But as long as he carries on playing nicely with the youngsters, there'll be many more rough and tumble sessions for the little ones to enjoy.
Right, she's good people, she is. And there's that little...
Back with Aris, it's time for his next meeting. It's with female Xiaolan. She's a placid orangutan, so hopefully they'll hit it off. And Aris is definitely intrigued at the new face staring back at him.
Go open the door. You ready? All right, darling.
Having finished her banana, she's ready to say hello.
Who we got here? Is that good? It's a girl for you.
Hey, little man.
Check that little boy out.
Xiaolan adopts a non-threatening pose. This helps Aris to relax and encourages play. But Aris is a bit too wary to join in. Xiaolan reacts perfectly to Aris's nervousness by backing off and turning her attention to Jeremy.
Kissing and stuff. It's not that sort of program. We don't do the kissing stuff. Is this all right? You're doing very well. It's a girl thing and being more mature. Obviously, she's very interested in him. She needs to check him out, which she is doing. Good girl. That's nice. But she doesn't have this competitive, physical thing that the male would have. It's just really that simple.
In the wild, orangutans are thought to be semi-solitary. The number of social interactions seen in one day in a chimp group might occupy an entire year in an orang's social diary. But in captivity, they clearly enjoy companionship.
I should give him a thumb for that.
Aris is used to adult females as he's lived with our mate for the last 3 years. And soon, he's confident enough to react to her advances, albeit somewhat aggressively. But Xiaolan doesn't take offence. She'll just keep on trying until he's relaxed enough to join in properly.
Boy, no, be nice to him. Be nice to that boy. Good girl. Good girl. Be nice.
Xiaolan is doing all the right things to try and make Aris feel relaxed. If the meeting stays this positive, the pair will be left to bond with each other overnight. Next time, orangutan Aris meets bundle of energy Kai and his mum, Xiao Kuai. Chimp Susie takes her new baby outside for the first time. And things take a turn for the worse in the chimp nursery as naughty Seamus gets out of control.
Those two little children down there are frightened to come up here because you're such a bully. Do you get that? So you're going to have to go and live in the bachelors.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, naughty Seamus is out of control.
He's horrible. He's a mindless moron.
Chimp Susie takes her new baby outside for the first time. And there are problems with the travel arrangements for the park's biggest ever rescue mission.
It's got to be coordinated down to the last minute, and if we don't get this right, the risk increases hour on hour that those animals are actually in those cages.
It's early morning at Monkey World, and some of its residents are having a lie-in. Meanwhile, the park's staff are busy preparing for their biggest primate rescue mission. Monkey World has agreed to rehome almost 100 capuchin monkeys being retired from a research laboratory in Chile, South America. This is a huge task, so the plan is for the primates to be collected in stages. 36 capuchins will make up the first shipment to Monkey World.
Keep in mind that this isn't like they all have to cram in there and then that's it. We've got the holding areas up top here.
The team has spent weeks organising the new, tailor-made house and enclosure builds. Even the transport boxes have Monkey World's personal touch.
We like to take it a little bit further and try and design for comfort because a lot of the time we're transporting animals on very long journeys. So what we sat down and did is take the basic design then. You have to decide how big you want the box because a lot of the time you presume bigger is better. But if they're wild animals that are used to tucking up together and sleeping and feeling security in more confined spaces like the capuchins do often, you're better off making the boxes not overly big. I mean, you can see there's going to be enough room in here for an animal to move around and feel comfortable, stand up, stretch her limbs, reach out, but not enough that she can run around the box and bang into the walls and hurt herself. So I think it's perfect size. We've also put in plexiglass windows into them so that they can see out, because we found that when we've been transporting animals from Asia in the past, that if they can at least see where they're going, stress levels inside of the box just more than cut in half, and they arrive feeling much more relaxed and content.
The realisation and enormity of the mission ahead now starts to hit home.
I know when you start seeing all of the boxes lined up and all of the windows, and knowing that each one of those windows represents another face that you're going to have to look after and care for the next, I don't know how many years. It's a bit of a daunting task, but really quite excited.
Over in Paddy's chimp group, it's a big day for Susie and her new 7-week-old baby. This is the first time they've been outside since the birth. Chimp life can be volatile, and Susie's taking no chances with her precious infant. She keeps a safe distance from the rest of the group. Just like with humans, it's the mother's role to provide the majority of parental care. Newborn chimpanzees are helpless, and for the first 2 months of their life, they're unable to support their own weight. This baby depends on mum for everything. But Susie is an experienced mother. She still shares a close bond with her firstborn, 6-year-old female Eddie. This time round, though, it's a boy for Susie, and he's been named Bart. But now Eddie's going to have to learn to share her mum, just as she would if they were living in the wild. When another baby's born, the elder sibling will remain close to their mother, but spend more time with the other members of the troop. This allows mum to provide protection and nourishment to the newborn. And this is exactly what's happening to Eddie. Susie focuses on Bart, and Eddie is clearly jealous. She's never been blanked by her mum before and wants her attention. But when Susie walks off, it's becoming clear to Eddie that she's going to have to share her mother. Later, will Eddie calm down and be allowed to make contact with her baby brother? And with naughty Seamus, his cheeky behaviour is getting so out of control, there's nothing animal manager Jeremy can say or do to help.
You're not taking me seriously, are you?
With over 160 animals to look after, the primate care staff are kept very busy. For Colin and animal manager Jeremy, their first job of the day is to check on orangutan Aris. Yesterday, he moved from the orang nursery into Gordon's adult group. His first meeting with Gordon went well, but as Gordon can be unpredictable, Jeremy wasn't keen to leave them alone. Instead, the 4-year-old was teamed with female Xiao Lan. They were left together overnight, and the team are keen to see if Aris and Xiao Lan are still getting along.
Xiao Lan is still doing all the right things. She's initiating play, she's been really friendly. He's joining in now, and he's actually starting games himself. So, all in all, it's going really well so far.
This is good news, so Jeremy's keen to do another introduction. Aris is going to meet Xiao Kuai and her young son, Kai.
Got nothing.
Jeremy has a unique relationship with the orangs, so he's able to go into the meetings.
The thing is, I can have an influence over Xiao Kuai and Xiao Lan and Kai, and I can diffuse negative behaviour. And she doesn't know that she's stronger than me because I can do the dominant male bit. Sort of.
And it's a good thing that Xiao Kuai does think he's the dominant male, Being around 7 times stronger than Jeremy means she could hurt him very easily.
You gonna let me dominate you? Yep, go for it. Now I'm gonna go through first.
Xiao Kuai is keen to go through, but it's food rather than Aris that is tempting her.
Well, you just walk past and she's just trying to find see if there's any grub or anything.
While Mum is occupied, Aris is eager to introduce himself to young Kai.
Good boy.
Tearing herself away from the food, Xiao Kuai is close behind, as is Jeremy.
No, I'm not playing rough games with you. We're doing an introduction here.
And Aris shows them why he was so popular in the nursery by turning the meeting into a good old play session.
We've got a bit of bonding going on here.
Aris is a streetwise lad, which seems to be helping his integration process. Before coming to the park, Aris lived with baby gorillas, where rough and tumble was all part of life. And Aris has brought his love of physical play to the orangutans. And they seem to love it too. Jeremy's quietly confident, so he's left them to it. But he and Colin will still need to keep a close eye on proceedings. Primate meetings are unpredictable, and this one could go from good to bad at any time.
The only problem is if Aris gets a wee bit too excited and bites Kai too hard and Kai screams, then
Xiao Kuai's going to get involved and...
Yeah.
But the thing is, Aris knows how to play with little ones. It isn't like we just dropped him in at the deep end. He knows how far he can go, and if you pull this bit too hard, he's going to get a negative response.
Xiao Kuai doesn't seem to be overly protective at all. The thing is, they're all eating food and they're not fighting over it as well.
That's right. There's no... any issues are positive ones, and as long as they don't escalate and become, too excited and too much of a problem, then there isn't a problem.
It's a good job that Aris has bundles of energy, as he'll soon be living with Xiao Kuai and the other members of the group full-time. There's no doubt about it, chimpanzee babies are adorable. But they soon grow up. And some of them grow up into chimps like Seamus. Seamus was once the little thug of the nursery group, but the problem is, Seamus isn't little anymore. He's 8 years old now, and with no adult males in the group to discipline him, he's becoming uncontrollable. Seamus can be a bit of a bully when he gets overexcited. It is normal for male chimps to play roughly, and Seamus thinks this is a great game, but his size and strength are intimidating to young Ash. Ash is clearly petrified, but this doesn't stop Seamus. He doesn't intend to hurt the young female, but the bigger he gets, the more harmful his behaviour will become. This lovable hooligan is getting out of control, and his play fights are too full-on for the babies. Sally has looked after Seamus for 6 years. They have a close bond, and she's only recently started to discipline the tearaway. The more naughty Seamus gets, the more Sally gets involved, and her patience is starting to wear thin. And later, it's not just Sally who has her hands full with Seamus. Animal manager Jeremy has to get involved.
One day, you're just going to get so much of that. You're going to get some of that.
Is it time for Seamus to move on?
Your days are numbered, matey boy.
And chimp Susie enjoys the perks of motherhood. She's being pampered by alpha male Paddy. At Monkey World in the chimp nursery, Seamus is still being naughty. So animal manager Jeremy has come to keep an eye on him. And he's brought some goodies.
Right, who wants a pumpkin? Got a pumpkin. Oh, sorry, Bri.
But 8-year-old Seamus isn't interested in treats. Terrorising the babies is what he does best.
Why? Because there's always a bully. Everybody wants to be, but these are chimpanzees, they're revolting. They really are the most repulsive, revolting, disgusting, horrible animals that God ever created. Your days are numbered, matey boy, because you're such a prat. Those two little children down there, see those two little children down there, they're frightened. They're frightened to come up here because you're such a bully. Do you get that? So you're going to have to go and live in the Bachelors. Yeah, go and live there with Charlie and Butch and all the rest. Thank you very much. You're not taking me seriously, are you? Hey, excuse me. There's a troll lives up my nose and he'll have you. He will.
The Bachelor boys are a rowdy bunch, so Seamus should fit in perfectly. And although they can be volatile, they are actually one of the most settled groups in the park. Seamus is younger and smaller than the rest of the boys, so hopefully they'll look out for him rather than see him as competition.
The nursery is all over for Seamus because he's just too big. So hopefully next week we're going to put him in a box and take him miles and miles and miles away. Don't. No. See, what do I say here? No. Seamus, don't. That just illustrates exactly what I'm saying. You know, Lulu's well hard. I wouldn't mess with Lulu, but there'd come a point when he's going to be bigger and he's going to turn around and say to Lulu, no, thank you. And that isn't far off. And obviously, when that happens, then he is totally undisciplined and it's all over. If you notice then, Sally doesn't want to know. She'll really doesn't want to know about disciplining. See, and I'm getting involved in this now, so I'm going to get out because these chaps want me to look after them. And I don't want to fight with him either. He's horrible. He's a mindless moron. That's why he's going to the Bachelors. Because there's 14 of them down there and he can be another one. God, I'll give you a good
Jeremy hand-reared Seamus from just a few weeks old, so they share a close bond. They also enjoy playtime, chimp style.
No Zebedee stuff. I'm not doing Zebedee. Come here. He's too big. He's just too big and smelly. He's a moron. Oh, God, I will. One day, you're just going to get so much of that. He ought to be on the terraces at some football match and then he'd be well away, wouldn't he, Sal? You're just horrible. We don't like you. We don't want you. You're a reject. Smack his bum. You're a good space. He likes that. He's a moron. It's all over. Exit right. Come on, then. Come on, get up. Up you get. All right. You're not coming home with me.
Coming up, could major transport problems with the capuchins affect their imminent rescue?
So I don't want, under any circumstances, us to have breakdowns in the sort of lines of communication, because this is going to start to cause us huge problems.
Back at Paddy's chimp troop, young Eddie is determined to get her mum's attention. And Susie is finally giving her some quality time. Like humans, chimpanzees experience a long childhood and aren't considered adults until around 15 years of age. So the bond between Susie and Eddie is still strong. Now that Eddie's had some valuable mother and daughter time, she's off for some fun with her great friend, Buster. Young chimps like Eddie might crave affection, but older ones like Buster enjoy it too. Babies are cherished in chimp society, and for the mothers it brings a rise in their status. Being pampered by the alpha male is about as good as it gets for a female in the group. Paddy is happy to groom Susie, but he knows she isn't keen on him getting too close to his son just yet. For Eddie and her partner in crime, Buster, grooming is far too boring. Chimpanzee play is important as it helps them relax and have fun, which is what chimp life is all about. And while Eddie is occupied, Mum Susie can enjoy her popularity. At least until Eddie decides to muscle her way in again. With a high-ranking mum and alpha male as dad, Eddie can pretty much do whatever she likes. Susie isn't amused by her daughter's pushy behaviour. But when this self-centred and lively young chimp turns her attention to her baby brother, everybody gets a surprise. Under the watchful eye of perfect mum Susie, Eddie makes her first contact with Bart and proves just how gentle she can be. In the last 21 years, Monkey World has rescued 185 primates. But the park is now preparing for its biggest ever rescue, increasing the population by nearly 50%. Almost 100 capuchin monkeys are being retired from a research laboratory in Chile, South America. The primates will be collected in stages, with 36 monkeys leaving first. It's a massive challenge, and everyone at the park has become involved in the design of their new homes.
So all the primate care staff who work with the capuchins, we've all got together, got ideas, and decided to actually make a model, to scale model, so that, you know, everyone's got an input into what they think should go into the enclosure. Well, we've taken into consideration, obviously they like to be up in the air, so we've got nets, we've got ladders, we'll actually put ropes in to try and create some type of treetop where things move so that they can actually adjust, so they use the balance and their intelligence. You know, it can be daunting when you've been kept in conditions where you've not had outside access, so it's a complete new world for them. And this is what Monkey World's all about, is rehabilitating primates as near as possible natural environment as we can. So yeah, you know, it's now complete. All we need to do now is hand it over to Alison, make sure she's happy with it. George then gets it, and hey presto, hopefully the enclosure gets built.
But in the office, there could be major transport problems for the capuchins.
That's kind of the golden number, really. More than 48 hours is starting to get into dangerous territory for us. So I don't want, under any circumstances, us to have breakdowns in the sort of lines of communication, because this is going to start to cause us huge problems. It's a nightmare because, A, we're moving animals, which people regard as livestock. That comes with a whole series of diplomatic and bureaucratic hurdles and obstacles you have to overcome. In addition to that, there's the pure logistics. You know, moving animals, I mean, they're difficult things to move. They're very fragile, extremely precious. They've got to be moved from the laboratory. They've got to be got to the airport. We've got to cage them up, check them, get all the paperwork done. And then we've got to find some way of actually moving them from Chile back to the UK, and it turns out there are no straight routes. So actually, you know, it's quite easy to say we're going to go and rescue 36 capuchins, but the reality is, you know, this is actually a huge logistic exercise and very expensive. It's an extremely expensive move, this. It's our biggest ever rescue. It's got to be coordinated down to the last minute, and if we don't get this right, the risk increases hour on hour that those animals are actually in those cages.
Whatever the problems, Jez and the team resolve to remain undeterred.
These 36 capuchin monkeys are coming back to Monkey World. They are coming from this laboratory where they've been tested on for years and years. We are going to do this. This is what we do. This is what we're all about. We will find a way. It ain't easy, but yeah, we'll work it out.
Next time, the rescue mission gets even tougher.
We've been told that we can come over, pick up as many monkeys as we can take, and then that's going to be it. There is no future for the remaining ones that we leave behind. It's a tough decision. Do we take the 88, or do you play it safe, take your 36, and leave the difficult decisions to other people in Chile?
Wildlife vet John Lewis does his final check on Chimp Jimmy's leg wound.
It never fails to amaze me how animals heal, and this is one of the best examples I've seen in years.
And baby chimp Rodders has a broken tooth, but he doesn't seem to be in any pain.
They don't bat an eyelid. They just don't bat an eyelid. Trust me, I'm not God.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, it's a vet day at the park and John Lewis checks up on the infected leg that chimp Jimmy almost lost.
It never fails to amaze me how animals heal, and this is one of the best examples I've seen in years. Hello.
Baby chimp Rodders has to have a tooth removed after a play session in the nursery became more rough than tumble.
He's had them broken by another chimp, which is incredibly common in chimpanzees. They're robust with each other in the way they play, and they quite often damage teeth in the process.
And there's a serious problem with Monkey World's biggest ever rescue.
We've been told that we can come over, pick up as many monkeys as we can take, and then that's going to be it. There is no future for the remaining ones that we leave behind.
Monkey World has a team of 29 primate care staff to look after its apes and monkeys. Including a full-time vet. But sometimes the primates need extra medical attention. From x-rays...
This is more interesting than I thought.
...to exploratory operations. Then the park calls in specialists. Today, wildlife vet John Lewis is checking up on chimpanzee Jimmy. Jimmy recently had a serious leg wound, and John needs to assess his progress.
It's absolutely stunning, because he's just got a small scrape on his leg now, and it's tiny, because it was a horribly infected wound, and the bone was exposed. Now it's just a interesting scab for a chimp to pick that has, doesn't worry me at all. It never fails to amaze me how animals heal, and this is one of the best examples I've seen in years. So, wonderful.
3 months ago, Jimmy had a blister that developed into a large ulcer. The damage was so severe, John thought there was a strong chance that Jimmy could lose his leg. The primate care staff had to clean his wound every day, which meant close physical contact that Jimmy wasn't too keen on. But animal manager Jeremy was determined the 23-year-old would not lose his leg. He had a cunning plan.
I reckon I can go in with him.
This close contact made it easier for Jeremy to clean and assess the wound. And hanging out with Jeremy was also good therapy for Jimmy, who was missing his chimp mates. He'd been isolated from his group to protect the wound. But Jimmy was not always the easiest of patients.
John will always, prescribe medication, and then we have to get it down them. And some of them take it, and some of them don't. And if it's, the life-saving drug and they don't want to take it, then of course that's always quite a chore.
But their hard work paid off, and Jimmy's recovery has been remarkable.
Given that, 6 months ago we thought 50-50 would lose his leg, not bad going, pal.
Jimmy recently moved in with the rowdy bachelor boys, and it's actually helped his recovery.
So this group is good for him. It takes his attention out of focusing on that wound. If he was in a group where they were all solitary or far more introspective, he'd be sitting there picking his scab, navel gazing, but the fact he's out playing with the other chimps is absolutely perfect for him. And he's a chimp, they heal very well. They just do.
With Jimmy's leg almost completely healed, it looks like his future living with this boisterous group will be a positive one. Later, vet John is called to the chimp nursery. A rough play session has caused damage to baby Rodder's tooth. It looks serious, but amazingly, Rodders isn't in pain.
They don't bat an eyelid. They just don't bat an eyelid. Trust you. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Over in the largest chimp family group, the latest arrival is flourishing.
Bart's doing really well. Susie's new youngster and the new arrival to Paddy's group. He's 3 months old now, and he's just been tremendous, you know. And his ears, they're bigger than Eddie's. You know, I mean, Eddie had big ears, but these are just huge. I've never seen ears so big in my life on a baby chimp. God knows where these ears come from. It's got to be Paddy. You know, I mean, Paddy's got a big head, but in comparison, his ears are quite large. But Susie's aren't, so you know, he must be following more of Paddy's genes than Eddie did.
At just 3 months old, Bart is still attached to his mum, Susie. But she is letting the other chimps in Paddy's troop have contact with him.
She's allowing the rest of the group to actually hold his hands. He'll actually, whilst inside, he'll have a look round. So she's letting him be a little bit more mobile, but there's no way she's going to let go of him yet and let anyone wander off with him. You know, that's a few months down the line before anybody else is allowed to actually take him for a ride.
Susie is being a perfect second-time mum. She's also being very patient with her firstborn, Eddie, who's taken some time to get used to her new brother.
To start with, Eddie was a little bit upset, obviously, because she wasn't number one anymore. But she's settled down. So, you know, she's actually grown up a hell of a lot, considering, you know, she was spoilt terrible by everyone in the group. But she's come on tremendously, you know, she's actually accepted Bart, and Susie just hasn't any issues, and Eddie's got no issues. So, you know, the whole family unit within Paddy's is great.
Bart is the first male chimp born at the park to be looked after by his family. At the moment, the other chimps aren't affected by whether the new baby is a girl or a boy. But this may change as Bart gets older.
I think possibly as Bart starts to grow up and becomes more mature and probably, you know, wanting to display as male chimps do, that may come into play. But, you know, Paddy then might not be the alpha male. You know, you're looking at 7-10 years possibly down the line.
As he grows up, Bart will definitely play a different role in the group to his sister, and perhaps one day, maybe he will become the alpha male. Over the past 20 years, Monkey World has rescued 11 capuchin monkeys from the British pet trade. But soon, the park will be rehoming many more, all at the same time and from the other side of the world. This research laboratory in Chile, South America, is retiring almost 100 primates, and Monkey World has agreed to take as many as possible, beginning with a first shipment of 36. The team has spent weeks developing and building the capuchins' new homes. This is one of 2 new enclosures for the first 36, but over in the office there's some news, which changes things dramatically.
I'm sort of teetering right now on probably one of the biggest decisions Monkey World has ever made. The dean of the university where the monkeys are being kept has had an awful lot of pressure put on him by animal rights groups who are protesting outside of the university about the capuchin monkeys being there at all. He's reached the end of his tether, and whereas I'm sure the protesters mean well on behalf of the monkeys, what they've done is put enough pressure on that the university now feels suitably annoyed that we've been told that we can come over, pick up as many monkeys as we can take, and then that's going to be it. So I've been sent a list now of not only the 36 that we've agreed to take, but of the remaining 52 that are at the lab, because there are 88 monkeys there at the moment altogether. Our biggest decision now is what to do and how many of those 88 we can actually rehome here at the park, because I believe that there is no future for the remaining ones that we leave behind. It's a tough decision. Do we take the 88 or do you play it safe, take your 36 and leave the difficult decisions to other people in Chile?
Coming up, it's feeding time, and alpha male Hananya doesn't seem to be commanding the respect of his troop. Is he struggling as a leader? And the team meets to discuss the fate of the 88 capuchin monkeys. Can they all be rescued at once?
That would be indeed the largest rescue operation that we've ever done in the history of the park. I mean, just bringing in the 36 was going to be the largest, but 88 monkeys is enormous.
At Monkey World in Dorset, the youngest boy in the chimp nursery is Rodders. He loves the group's rough play sessions, but sometimes they can get a little too rough, as Rodders has just discovered. Vet John Lewis has been called in.
Well, we're here at the nursery group today to remove a couple of broken temporary teeth from Rodders, and he's had them broken by another chimp, which is incredibly common in chimpanzees. They're, violent's the wrong word, they're robust with each other in the way they play, and they quite often damage teeth in the process. So in the wild, they'd either fall out, or if they were permanent teeth, they'd stay broken, which is not very comfortable or safe. Here, we just take them out. Temporary teeth, they'll be replaced by adult teeth later anyway, so it's of no great consequence to Rodders.
Rodders is 2 years old, and his best friend is little girl Ash. They were both rejected by their mums, but as they're about the same age, they've grown up together. The pair have always loved playing the lively games that are so much a part of nursery life. But as a result of a particularly rough play session, Rodders has been injured. He's just been given an anaesthetic injection and he's almost asleep.
Should we get him... The sooner we get him on a table, flat on his back, better it is. That's it. That's great. Then we can see him breathe and all the rest of it, okay?
John is concerned that there could be some fragments of broken tooth in Rodders' gum. If they were left untreated, they could cause infection, or his adult tooth could come through at the wrong angle.
You've just got to be very gentle to get all the... because the root is a shell. And you need to get all of the shell out.
As John suspected, the tooth is not in one piece.
There's the first fragment. There.
With the fragment removed, it's clear to see the extent of the damage to the tooth. The whole tooth and its root now needs to come out without breaking any further. It's a delicate process.
Come on, there you go. Give up the tooth. However, he's done. And that is the whole root, so...
Yeah.
And presumably that other piece, which was there, should just fit on here. Just to confirm we've got everything. The root of all of these chimps' teeth are far bigger than your roots. So that if you lose an incisor, the root is a moderate size thing, but in a chimp it's actually a lot bigger, 2 or 3 times the size. To stitch that across, I'd have to make a flap and then stitch it over. That's going to be really sore. There's no point, because within 24, 48 hours you'll have a firm blood clot in the socket, and that just turns into ordinary healing type granulation tissue, and that'll be the end of it. Right, I can't see any reason for keeping this animal asleep.
Once he's woken up, the keepers will keep a close eye on Rodders and he'll have some help to ease any discomfort.
He's had a painkiller, but that'll last about 24 hours. But I don't want that area to be free of all soreness. I want it to be sore, so that he doesn't ram a banana up there or whatever. You want him to feel it. I mean, not to the extent of excessive pain, but it needs to be tender.
But having lost his tooth won't affect Rodders' appetite at dinner time.
It won't bother him eating. It will bother us, but it's not going to bother him, trust me. They don't bat an eyelid. They just don't bat an eyelid.
Trust you.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Trust you, oh yeah.
But it's quite remarkable. They just don't, doesn't seem to affect them.
Rodders has been given an anaesthetic reversal injection to wake him up, but he doesn't seem in a hurry to go anywhere.
Come on, Herbert, you've been lazy. Hey. The reason he's being a little slow about coming round is the anaesthetic is a combination of 2 drugs, one of which we can reverse, one of which we can't. So the one we can't just has to wear off. So if we do our job very quickly and 15 minutes into the anaesthetic we're finished, we have to wait another 15 minutes for that one drug that can't be reversed to wear off. And that's why he's being a bit slow. Come on, Herbert, time to get up now. Now I'm going to bother you. Come on, that's it, up you get. Hey. Little, hello. Isn't that the best way to come round from anaesthetic? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And it's not long before Rodders is fully awake and joined by his best friend, Ash. Later, will the team take the plunge and dramatically increase Monkey World's primate population, rescuing all 88 Chilean capuchin monkeys in one go?
I don't know that all of this lot will go together. I don't know that they'll all fit.
The chimpanzees at the park are given scatter feeds throughout the day to help simulate their natural foraging behaviour. This afternoon, Hananya's group are being given a variety of frozen fruits. They're perfect for cooling the chimps down on a warm day. And as the food arrives, the group are definitely getting excited. In the wild, chimpanzees can often travel long distances, moving from one food source to the next. And there is a strict pecking order as to who feeds first. It's usually the higher-ranking members of the troop who get first pickings. It's a good way of maintaining social order. But the boss of this group, Hananya, doesn't command the respect he's due at mealtimes. The other chimps just grab as much food as they can, and time again, Hananya gets left with nothing. When Rodney was in charge, the group would never have dared grab the food before he got to it. Rodney usually got the biggest chunk of whatever was on offer. And he also made sure he got as much food as he wanted. But at 14 years old, Hananya is a young leader, and he still has a lot to learn. He's a laid-back, gentle-natured male and allows the other chimps to feed near him. But sometimes he's just not sure how to stand up for himself. If he asserts his dominance, the group will respect his position and his right to eat first. And he'll get the best of the food on offer. But until then, the others will keep on taking advantage of his youth and inexperience. Back with park director Alison and the team, some tough decisions are being made about the capuchin monkeys in Chile. All 88 now need rescuing at once. But can the park cope with this number?
I had a meeting with Jez and Jeremy, and what I'm thinking is that if the laboratory can actually take the cages that the monkeys are in at the moment and remove them from the walls and maybe even just make a framework so that the animals can be transported in their existing cages, I'll consider agreeing to all 88 coming to Monkey World at once. So that would be indeed the largest rescue operation that we've ever done in the history of the park. I mean, just bringing in the 36 was going to be the largest, but 88 monkeys is enormous.
It's a huge challenge, and the team have made their decision.
I think for the animals' sake at this point in time, Monkey World should do what's right for the animals, offer to take the 88 with their cages and do the best we can for as many individuals as we can, and actually face up to the reality that a certain number of them won't make it.
This will be Monkey World's biggest rescue operation ever. Now that many more capuchins than they planned for will be arriving, the staff meet to work on urgent new living arrangements.
And I thought that all of this lot, totaling 69, could head down to the bottom house, to the new house, then also have what the existing house and facility connected up for any overflow. So
It's been a huge task to make sure everything at the park is ready, but the monkeys' transportation has always been the biggest problem.
I mean, I don't want them to be en route if we can possibly avoid it for more than 48 hours. And that's kind of the golden number, really. More than 48 hours is starting to get into dangerous territory for us, so really...
At last, after several months, there seems to be a solution.
The laboratory has actually managed to get the Chilean army to agree to fly the whole batch of monkeys over all at once. So we actually have a date now, and, you know, really pleased that finally everything's coming together. The houses are here and ready to go. Brand new, beautiful house. We've got the boxes, the traveling boxes out there ready to be taken off tomorrow. We're ready to get the monkeys. We're ready to go.
Next time. It's a big day for boisterous chimp Seamus. He's moving in with the bachelor boys. But he famously dislikes travel boxes, so how will he react?
Seamus is a boy of very little brain. He might say, oh, look, goodness me, last time I went in a box, that wasn't good. But he might have totally forgotten that and think, let's go and sit in the box. I think he's going to have a problem with it. Go for it. That was good.
Too slow.
Yeah.
Toddler orangutan Aris has got into a scrape with one of his new housemates. But who was it?
We honestly don't know what happened or who did it, but he did sustain some quite nasty bite wounds to his back. His knee and his elbow were quite swollen. Someone meant that with intent. It wasn't just a little skirmish.
And what happens when Seamus meets his former partner in crime, Charlie? The pair haven't seen each other for 2 years.
Now, you be nice to Seamus. You be nice. No, no. Good boy. Hey, no, no. Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. Charlie. Good. No. Charlie.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life. It's a big day for boisterous chimp Seamus. He's moving in with the bachelor boys. But he famously dislikes travel boxes, so how will he react?
He might say, oh, look, goodness me, last time I went in a box, that wasn't good. But he might have totally forgotten that and think, let's go and sit in the box. I think he's going to have a problem with it.
Toddler orangutan Aris is injured. One of his new housemates picked a fight with him. And what happens when Seamus meets his former partner in crime, Charlie? The pair haven't seen each other for 2 years.
Good boy. It's nice to think they recognise each other, and they probably do, but I don't know. How can you tell? It's a sort of totally unprovable thing.
Monkey World houses 60 chimpanzees that are split into 4 groups. The nursery is home to the youngest animals, but as these chimps mature, they're moved into one of the adult groups. And that's what's about to happen to the park's naughtiest resident, Seamus. This morning, Seamus is moving to the bachelor pad. Everybody's aware that Seamus might not make this move easy, so the team has assembled for their orders before the operation swings into action.
Once down there, I'll actually be on the box, operating the slide on the crate. Cara, if you can be outside, so that when Seamus hopefully comes in, he's got a reassuring face because you've not been here for a while, so we might actually react to you a little bit better than the rest of us. Pemka, you've got all your emergency equipment.
Yeah.
There's blankets ready to go that are warm,
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else. At 9 o'clock, probably the last time really to do a dart for him if we have to anaesthetise Seamus. And at 9:30, it'll be Alison and Jeremy's call to whether we actually continue or actually end the exercise this morning.
The first plan was to separate Seamus from the rest of the group, but it didn't quite work out. Lulu wouldn't leave, so they've come up with an alternative.
Lulu's Lulu, and Lulu always wants part of the action, and that's her bedroom, so don't mess with it. Obviously, we want Seamus to come into this box, cold sober, put him in the box and take him down to the bachelor boys. Now, he might not go in the box, which means we'll have to anaesthetise him. That's the worst case scenario, but it's not the end of the world. There's a very good chance, because Lulu's always first at anything, that Lulu's going to go in the box. So if Lulu goes in the box and won't get out, then Lulu can go in the box. And I've got another box down there for Seamus, and Lulu can sit in a box and watch us for a while. So that's basically what we can do.
At 8 years old, Seamus has definitely outgrown the nursery. He's become out of control and tends to bully the youngsters.
He's going to have a nicer time with other yobs. He doesn't know that, and he won't know that for probably 2 or 3 months. But hey, that's growing up, isn't it? We all did it. But it's definitely the time. This is a one-way ticket this time.
This won't be the first time Seamus has moved out. 2 years ago, he was transferred to Hanania's group, but he didn't make any friends, so he was returned to the loving arms of foster mum, Sally. But now Seamus has to move again, as his behaviour is far too rowdy, and Jeremy has devised the Jeremy plan. He hopes Seamus has simply forgotten his last experience of the box and walk into it by himself.
Seamus is a boy of very little brain. He might have totally forgot what happened 2 years ago. I doubt it, but you've got to give him a try. He might say, oh, look, goodness me, last time I went in a box, that wasn't good. But he might have totally forgotten that and think, let's go and sit in the box. I think he's going to have a problem with it.
And later, the Jeremy plan fails. Seamus isn't going anywhere.
Go for it. That was good. Yeah.
Oh, too slow.
And why is alpha male Hanania keeping his distance from the rest of the group? The sun is shining. And how better to spend your day than having fun? In Paddy's group, chimp Eddie is 6 years old. She's got bundles of energy and she just loves to play. Her favourite game is chase with her best friend, Gamba. And although Gamba is 3 times older than Eddie, he can still play with her for hours. And over in Hanania's group, the boys are also giving young Eddie a run for her money. Shamak and Arthur are twice Eddie's age, but they still know how to play. They're silly chaps and maybe low down in the pecking order, but it doesn't stop them having fun. Simon likes to mess around as much as the next chimp. But he's been for a sleep and he's missed out. But not for long. These 3 have been friends for years and love to hang out with each other, living proof that teenagers can be just as silly as the little ones. But back at Paddy's, Mickey is 25. Surely too old to get involved in such frivolous behaviour. Apparently not. And he's commandeering Eddie to join him for a play. Having fun is an important part of chimp life. It's a great way to release energy, relax, and form lifelong friendships. And it doesn't seem to matter how old you are, playing around is a talent these chimps never lose. the chimp nursery, the team are trying to encourage Seamus into the travelling box so he can be moved to the bachelor pad. But it seems animal manager Jeremy's prediction is right. Seamus isn't keen.
Come on, you're thick. So just walk in the box. Wait until he's really settled, Lou. Yeah. Yeah, now I want him to be really safe. If you do anything now, he's going to be off like a... Let him just sit here. What we got here? What do you think this is? This is...
Typically, Seamus is not going to make this easy. But one way or another, he will be moving out today. Seamus clearly isn't just going to walk in. So it's time for the Alison plan.
You want to come and say hello to Alison?
Come here, Seamus. I can't say a proper hello. Come on, then. Come on, then. Let's go, Seamus. Come on, Seamus.
That's disgusting. You're so foul. You're just
You want a sip?
ugly. You go for it. Now it's good. Yeah.
Too slow. Yeah. When you go, you have to go wholehearted.
Close, but not quite close enough. The team are now desperate enough to resort to the Jez plan. Seamus is not very keen on operations manager Jez. So it's hoped that he'll aggravate Seamus enough for him to move to the front of the box so they can shut the door behind him.
Say hello.
It's a long shot.
Not quite, though. That's too close. He's got it.
Okay, right in.
Go, Lee. Go. Well done.
Yabba.
But it turns out that the Jez plan is the best plan.
That's me. He's an animal man. Yeah, it couldn't have gone better, really. And this is the result. I mean, we've got him in the box and we didn't have to anaesthetise him. Again, it's making it tough as you go along. If you keep that as a basic plan, then, you know, you've got plenty of options. And actually, Alison thought Seamus doesn't particularly... Seamus has issues with Jez, so we thought we'll use Jez as this. So Jez came and said hello to him, and Seamus comes in to check Jez out.
Chimps are nosy, and Sammy and Paquito are keen to see who their new housemate is. But before they can get acquainted, Seamus will be left to settle in his new home with a bit of reassurance from animal manager Jeremy.
In his environment, he's always been the biggest male, so he's going to have a cruel shock because he's going to have to get used to it. And the thing is, chimpanzee politics aren't complicated, and even sicko like him, it's not difficult. You know, I'm bigger and stronger than you, and I want that, so I'm going to have it. And it's not rocket science. So even Einstein here can probably work some of it out.
Seamus will soon meet the first of his new group, his old pal, Turkish Charlie. The pair used to live together in the chimp nursery, so their reintroduction should go well.
Because they know each other and they're both as daft as brushers. But, you know, daft brushers can be tricky at times, so we'll see.
Coming up, how will Turkish Charlie react when he meets his old pal Seamus for the first time in 2 years?
You be nice to Seamus. You be nice. No. Don't be such a loud.
And is alpha male Hananya at last taking control of his group? At Monkey World in the pavilions, it's time for Seamus to meet the first of his new group, Turkish Charlie. The pair used to live with each other in the chimp nursery, so it's hoped they will remember one another and get along.
Right. Yeah, just open it a little bit, see what the reaction is. No.
This is the first time the pair have seen each other in 2 years. When they lived together in the chimp nursery, they were best friends. But that doesn't mean Charlie will be nice to Seamus now.
Look at that. Are you a good boy? Good boy. Get rid of it. Good boy. Hey. Good boy.
Charlie isn't the smartest of chimps, and his boisterous behaviour is making Seamus nervous.
Hey, no, Charlie. Charlie, good. No. Charlie, good boy. Isn't it? Good boy. Oh. Now you be nice to Seamus. You be nice. No. Don't be such a lout. Charlie, behave. Come here, stop it, okay? None of that. No, I'm not taking your side.
Chimps can be unpredictable, and the meeting could have gone badly wrong. But when the two chimps finally calm down, Charlie decides he wants to play.
Hope it just doesn't degenerate.
Perhaps he remembers Seamus from their time in the nursery after all.
It's not that funny. Oh, that's funny. It's nice to think they recognise each other, and they probably do, but I don't know. How can you tell? It's a sort of totally unprovable thing. I mean, I would think they would, and I would have thought this was reasonable proof, but not evidence, that they do. But maybe they're like this with anybody. You don't know. I mean, it's pretty likely. I mean, it's very likely.
But Jeremy's keeping close by just in case.
This is just chimps. They're rough morons. But as we all know, with boisterous yobs, this can very easily go the other way and become a somebody will hurt somebody, and then they'll all get the cob on about it, and it'll all behave. Oi, leave him alone. It's the hooligan element, isn't it? How do you control a hooligan?
Seamus is clearly a hooligan, so he should feel right at home with the rowdy bachelor boys.
I know everybody talks about the bachelors like the awful group and all the rest. They're actually the most stable group. We haven't got all these horrible women politics involved, have we? And that's what always gets complicated. Don't you fart at me when I'm being serious, okay? Seamus, I'm being serious here and you're trumping. What's that all about?
Chimp meetings can be volatile, but this one seems to be positive.
So far, there's no reason why we can't leave them together, and I really hope we can, but it could still fall apart. So we will sort of make everything dark and quiet and bring bedtime sort of on reasonably early, and so we can then monitor how they settle down for the night. And if there's no reason to call it, then we'll leave them together, absolutely. I mean, so far, they're looking really good.
Later, there's concern for orangutan Aris. He has a knee injury.
One of the problems with Aris is he's never one for backing down, so part of the problem might have been if he'd wanted to take someone's bed or someone's food or whatever, he will be disciplined by the older ones.
At the other side of the park, Hananya's troop are taking it easy. Chimpanzees are highly sociable and live in large groups known as communities. They're governed by an alpha male, whose job it is to make sure there's harmony amongst their group. Paddy is the perfect leader to his group. If there's trouble, he's always there to put the situation right. And he's totally respected. He's also a sociable chimp who's usually being pampered by his troop. Hananya has been in charge of his group for 3.5 years now. But he's only 14 and Paddy's 27. But he's slowly making his presence felt. The troop respect Hananya as leader, but from time to time he seems to be cautious and stays away from the rest of the group. It's as if he's still trying to work out how to use his authority. Hananya's always been a placid male, and unlike most chimps, he prefers to keep himself to himself. It could be that he's waiting for his confidence to match his size. The problem is, when Hananya hangs back, the boys take advantage. They will play up and tease the ladies. Males will often display to intimidate others. It's just what chimps do. But normally the alpha male should step in and discipline them, something that Hananya can find difficult to do. He grew up with these boys, and this could be why he lets them get away with unruly behaviour. Hananya has a big role to fill, and while he isn't quite there yet, slowly but surely he is making progress. Over with the orangutans, it's been a few weeks since 4-year-old Aris moved from the nursery creche into Gordon's adult group. And he settled in well.
He was getting on okay with Xiao Lan and Xiao Kuai and little Kai. He had his second meeting with Gordon, and they were wrestling for about a couple of hours. Some of it quite intense because they weren't actually fighting, but it was just a game, but someone wanted to win. But gradually that all faded out. I think they just got fed up with it. They were all just lounging around in the pavilion there, eating together, no problem, no competition over food, so we left them together overnight.
But during the night, something went wrong.
Now, unfortunately, the next day, we found that Aris had been bitten during the night. Now, Amy and Gordon were in there along with the other females, and we honestly don't know what happened or who did it, but he did sustain some quite nasty bite wounds to his back. His knee and his elbow were quite swollen. He had a little bite mark on his head as well. So it wasn't like a serious mauling, but it was definitely someone meant that with intent. It wasn't just a little skirmish.
Aris clearly isn't himself, so to make him feel more comfortable, he's being left with just Xiao Lan.
One of the problems with Aris is he's really, really determined. He was the only male in the nursery over there, and he was never one for backing down. So part of the problem might have been if he'd wanted to take someone's bed or someone's food or whatever, and hadn't backed down from one of the adult females, eventually she will have bitten him. If he keeps going, then he will be disciplined by the older ones.
The team don't want to take any chances, so the vet has been called in to take a look. Next time,
Okay, it's fine.
Aris needs surgery. His injury is worse than expected.
Now, the worry here is that if this has gone into his joint, then he's got what we call a septic arthritis. If it is a septic arthritis, he could lose his knee completely, and we've got to try and save that for him.
Chimps Patricia and Hananya finally kiss and make up. And Seamus is in for a shock when he meets big male Paco.